They say the house at the top of Raven Hill was built on a place the earth itself tried to forget. No birds fly near it. No animals cross its path. And on still nights, if you stand too close, you can hear the house breathing. It was meant to be abandoned, boarded, burned, buried in time. But the hill remembers, and the house waits. Every decade or so, someone climbs that winding road, a skeptic, a thrill seeker, a wanderer chasing shadows. And the door always opens, not because it's unlocked, but because it wants them to come in. The last to try was a woman with a camera, looking for a story. She found one. And it found her back. Raven Hill was the kind of place people left off maps on purpose. A stretch of road curling into dense woods, with mist that rolled in even on the clearest days. At its summit stood a solitary, rotting house, the last house, where no birds sang and no trees grew straight. The locals called it Harrowick House, though no one remembered why. Its history was whispered over bar counters and passed like curses between generations. All anyone really knew was that people who entered rarely came out the same, if they came out at all. Talia Morgan didn't believe in ghost stories. A freelance photographer drawn by urban legends, she drove 6 hours from the city to capture the most haunted house in West Hollow County for a magazine spread. A storm gathered as she approached, wind curling through her open window like cold fingers. She parked at the base of the hill, took her camera, and began the slow ascent through choking fog. Halfway up, she stopped and looked back. Her car was gone. Not just obscured, gone. The road behind her vanished into thick, gray nothingness. Still, she pressed on. The house loomed out of the fog like a corpse surfacing from dark water. 3 stories high, its windows were black eyes, and its porch sagged like a mouth mid-scream. Ivy clung to its sides like veins, and someone, moved just beyond the door. Talia lifted her camera, snapped a shot. The digital screen blinked. Subject detected. 1 human. Odd. She was alone. The door creaked open before she touched it. Inside, dust coiled in the air, thick and dry. The wallpaper was stained with age and something darker, something that smelled metallic. The floorboards groaned with every step. A grandfather clock ticked in the hall, though its hands didn't move. Tick, tick, tick. She took photos. Staircase, mirror, empty chairs. But each time she checked the display, there were shapes behind her. Blurred. Watching. In one, a figure stood at the top of the stairs. Tall, thin, wearing an old-fashioned mask with a stitched mouth. She spun. The stairs were empty. Upstairs, the hallway seemed to stretch too long, as if the house were expanding. One door, carved with a crow in flight, was chained shut. The air in front of it hummed. Her fingers itched. She tried the handle, locked. But as she stepped back, the door opened with a groan. Inside, a child's room. Toys arranged in a perfect circle. A mobile spun slowly, though there was no wind. A crib stood in the corner, empty. The walls were covered in drawings, thousands of them, all of a faceless man holding a doll. One drawing had a name on it. "He is not my father." Talia felt it before she heard it. A soft lullaby, sung by something that couldn't be a child. Sleep, sleep, never wake. He comes to see the souls he'll take. The mobile stopped. A man stood behind her in the mirror. Talia fled the room, stumbling into a study littered with books and journals. One journal lay open, its pages smeared with blood. The child was never ours. We found her on the doorstep, swaddled in raven feathers. My wife dreamed of her long before she came. She said the hill had called the child, said the crows had whispered her name. At night, she speaks to someone in the walls, a man with buttons for eyes and no mouth. She calls him her other father. I've sealed the door. The house is alive now. It listens. It wants her. Lightning flashed. A figure moved outside the window, then vanished. Talia turned. The same man from the drawings, from the stairs, from the mirror, stood in the doorway. Only now, he wasn't blurred. His eyes were hollow buttons, Stitches crossed his mouth, and in his hand, he held a small porcelain doll that looked exactly like Talia. The figure moved without walking, gliding. The house breathed. The floor rippled beneath her feet like skin. The air was thick with whispers. "You came looking for stories," the stitched man said, without his mouth moving. His voice came from the walls, the ceiling, the floorboards. "So many stories here. So many lives swallowed. Yours will be delicious." Talia bolted, but the hallway changed. Stairs leading down where none had been. She ran, camera clutched tight, light flickering. Doors slammed behind her. The house moaned, boards twisting like muscle and bone. She reached the cellar door. It opened on its own. Inside, dozens of dolls, all lined up, all resembling people from missing persons reports she'd read. At the center, a large mirror. In it, she saw herself, but smiling, eyes hollow. A stitched grin stretching wide. Talia screamed as the stitched man stepped behind her reflection and placed the doll into its hands. The mirror rippled. Her reflection moved toward her. The last thing she remembered was the feel of cold porcelain hands wrapping around her neck. Then silence. A new photographer arrived at Ravenhill, inspired by Talia's mysterious disappearance. They found her car, still at the base. Her camera was recovered days later, wedged into the roots of a twisted tree. The memory card contained hundreds of photos. In the last one, Talia stood at the window of Harwick House, smiling. Eyes hollow, mouth stitched shut. They say the house is always hungry, and it just got a little fuller. They searched for her for weeks. No tracks, no signs, no body, just a photo left on her camera, a single shot of the house's window, and in it, she was smiling, but her eyes were gone, and her mouth, stitched shut. Some houses keep their secrets. This one keeps its guests. They sealed the house again, nailed the doors shut, salted the ground, but every now and then, the boards are loose, the windows open, and someone hears the lullaby. Not sung by a child, but by something pretending to be one. So if you're ever near Ravenhill, and the mist grows too thick, and the air smells like iron and old paper, turn back, because the house doesn't call people. It chooses them, and once it knows your name, it never forgets.